Yeah, there's plenty of questions in here. But there's the other side too. He's a loser, and I would rather not attach myself to a loser and have him a part of my basketball team. You see that in there a lot. We're talking basketball. I saw that one in there. He's a good basketball player. He's an all-star level basketball player. I don't care what he does off the court. Well, you don't care until it's your basketball team and then something happens, and then he has to miss the rest of the season because of his actions and not being able to be mature enough to handle himself as a professional and not put himself in those situations, the immaturity that's there that allows him to get into that trouble and then miss those games that when you talk about just the basketball, that he's not there to then help your basketball team because of his decision-making off the floor that causes him to miss the basketball game that you're laying out. So, yeah, those 20 points that he could average, yeah, it might work out. It might fit here in Philadelphia. But should he get himself in the situation again, you're always wondering if that's going to happen.
It's our job to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers and all the different possibilities that could come this offseason, that'll happen in the future. That's what we're talking about. It is no more. It is no less. Everything else is for other people to decide. And I'm not even sitting here. I'm casting a little bit of judgment. I'm not judging people in the chat. I said to you earlier, I understand the people who feel desperate. People are attached to this team because, like me, like all of us in this room, grew up in this area. You have an attachment to the Sixers and most likely the other people in the city or other teams in the city, not only because you like basketball, but because they represent a part of your identity. In some ways, the Sixers are a reflection of us. They represent the collective us, right? I don't play for the team, but I inhabit the city. My career is attached to them. So what they do is something I will talk about, something we have to address every single day on this show. Every single day when we go on other people's shows, when we're writing articles, when we're interviewing people in the front office, when we're talking to guys in the locker room, we are caught up in this. This is a giant part of our lives. I would like to opt out on this guy and this situation. And I would think that I would afford you the same grace if someone attached to your life and your work was like, no, I don't fuck with that guy for whatever reason it is. It's that simple.
Look, I said this earlier. His second chance is the fact that he is a free citizen to go out there and rebuild his life. It is not a guarantee to get a multi-million-dollar long-term contract for an NBA team. That is a privilege. And it sure as hell isn't a guarantee that I have to be supportive, that I want that guy on my team representing my city and being paid by the organization that we are paid to cover. There is just a complete difference to he has a second chance and I have to support him being a prominent member of the team I am paid to cover. It's a massive, massive difference.
If we were just sitting here doing a Miles Bridges conversation of a basketball, we would say, all right, he's 26 years old. He's interesting. 20 points per game. He can do a lot of things. He's athletic.
We would do the whole, he's a buy low candidate and do the whole song and dance.
All of that. But as we do that, we just did that. Child just said, buy low candidate. We just did the basketball side of things.
There you go.
Then you say, all right, here's the other part. This stuff off the floor. And that's it. And that's where it is. And we are all going to disagree on some. We're going to agree on others. Just like we had the fun conversations of talking about DeMar DeRozan versus Zach LaVine yesterday, mentioning those two and why or why not. Those are basketball discussions that we had. And again, just simply basketball things that we didn't like about both, why they will not fit. The other part of why Miles Bridges may not fit here is because of the off-the-court stuff that took place in Charlotte that now waves that red flag of take him off the board for us when it comes to the 76ers and their offseason of putting a roster together.
My position, which I think is the position of the other people at this desk with me, is that I don't think he should get to represent the team that is in the city that I come from. And it's basically that simple.
Yeah, you sort of brought up the common pushback is that people say, like, shouldn't you believe in second chances? And look, let's be honest. If in any of our background checks, one of us came back with a no contest plea, and again, a no contest plea, it's not an admission of guilt, but it is saying that you do not oppose the case's facts and you aren't against saying that what transpired constitutes a crime. It is an admission of fact, not of guilt. If any of us pled no contest to a domestic assault charge, do you think we would be sitting here at this desk? I don't think we would be.
No.
People like to say that you should get a second chance, but that doesn't mean that something like that your mistakes aren't going to impact your future employability. The only time that doesn't happen is when you have a powerful person who is one of the 50 to 100 best in the world at what they do and who can make the company money, or in this case, make the team win. We are having this conversation about second chances because he's really good at dribbling a basketball and putting it through the hoop at an acceptable level. This is not saying he should be in jail. His second chance is the fact that he is a free person. And quite frankly, Miles Bridges has made $24 million in the NBA. His ability to earn a living is pretty far down on the list of my concerns. I'm concerned about his 2 kids. I'm concerned about their mother. I'm concerned about, quite frankly, the way that we treat domestic violence in this world. When I was looking into this, I looked at a 2018 study from the World Health Organization. Found that 26% of women aged 15 through 49 in the United States have been physically or sexually assaulted by their partner in the course of their life. That rate is about 20% higher in the United States than it is in other high-income countries. And when I'm talking about this, I'm not just talking about Miles Bridges. I'm not just talking about whether or not he should get a second chance or holding him accountable. I'm also talking about how you can look people in the eye and say, you take domestic assault seriously if you give this guy, let's say, an 8-figure salary per year and make him one of the faces of a franchise. I think that's part of this conversation. I think that has to be part of this conversation. The public nature of his job changes the conversation, and I don't think we can completely ignore that.
We all silly like the mayor.